Welcome to the Workday Purchase Requisition demonstration, where we will requisition a shell shop order. I have logged in as a typical employee, Erica employee, in the Workday training environment. Erica needs to purchase a keyboard and computer mouse for her department's front office. We can use Shell Shop for that. What is Shell Shop? Shell Shop is currently used by UMCP as their electronic shopping platform. But when we move to Workday, all entities will have access to Shell Shop. For those who are not familiar, think of Shell Shop as a collection of catalogs to shop from. This sounds great. So, how do we get there? There are two ways to start a requisition. The first way is by using the search bar on the Workday homepage. You can type Create Requisition to access the Create Requisition Task page. The second way is by accessing the Maryland Procurement and AP app. From the homepage, I'll click View All Apps. Then I'll click Maryland Procurement and AP. Erica is now viewing her Maryland Procurement and AP dashboard. On this page, you can request goods and services, create a receiving report, view your requisitions, or take actions related to procurement cards if you have a P-card. To start a Shell Shop purchase requisition, we'll click Connect to Shell Shop. We're taken to the Connect to Supplier website page, where we will confirm and enter details and select work tags for this purchase requisition. You can also see there's field level help for this page. Let's click Show Me. By clicking Show Me, Workday provides help text for fields that may need extra clarification. That's helpful. Now let's continue to explore the page. On this page, some fields have default information pre-selected, such as the requester, company, deliver to, and ship to addresses. These prompts can also be modified if needed. For example, if Erica is requisitioning an order on behalf of another employee, she would update the requester field with that employee's name. I see that requisition type is a mandatory field that we must complete. By clicking into the drop-down list, we will see the available options to select: competitive, sole source, standard requisition, and a few more. Erica may need some help determining this one. Thankfully, there's field level help text. Let's click the help icon that appears next to the requisition type field. After reviewing the options, we'll select Standard Requisition, which is the most frequently used requisition type. Scrolling down, here are some familiar work tags: Grant, Gift, Project, and USource. These are driver work tags that identify the funding source. In this case, they are used to manage expenses. Erica needs to determine if her purchase of a keyboard and computer mouse is related to a grant, a gift, or a project. Because her purchase is not a grant, gift, or project, she'll use the USource work tag. Erica isn't quite sure what to enter here, but good news! Workday makes it easy. Erica can select from available options under My Work Tags. My Work Tags will include the work tags associated with her cost center. She can select an option for it to populate as the USource. Great! We've selected the USource work tag for UMCP's Psych department. Now that we've selected a USource driver work tag, there's no other mandatory field on this page. So we'll click OK. On this page, you'll see the option to connect to Shell Shop. Let's click Connect to navigate to the Shell Shop catalog page. This is where our shopping experience begins in Shell Shop. The shop page shows the available punch-out catalogs. In the Workday test environment, we have two catalogs, Dell and Grainger. Remember, this is a training environment. There will be more catalogs available in the actual system. With Shell Shop, we can add items from any of these punch-out catalogs, like from Dell. Once you're done shopping, the shopping cart from Shell Shop will transfer over to Workday's shopping cart so we can finish the requisition. Let's walk through it together. We'll click on the Dell punch-out catalog to shop for a computer mouse and keyboard. A pop-up window for Dell displays. Let's use the Dell search to type what we're looking for. Wonderful! We've found a keyboard and mouse combo. This is just what Erica is looking for. Let's add it to our shopping cart by clicking Add to Cart. Great! The item is in our cart. To begin the checkout process, we'll click Create Order Requisition. Then we'll click Continue Securely to advance to the next checkout page. On the checkout page, we'll click Submit Order Requisition. This closes the Dell punch-out cart window and moves the items into our Shell Shop cart. We're back to Shell Shop, where here it is. Our item is in the cart. We're done adding items, so let's click Checkout to get back to Workday. Now that we've returned to Workday, you can see the item information has transferred over. Since we are done shopping, we can click Checkout one more time to continue the requisition process. On the checkout page, let's review our requisition information and goods details. There are other fields that can be filled out, like internal memo. Erica has the option to add an internal memo that can be read by the purchase requisition approver. Now that we've scrolled down, we can review and confirm the information in the goods section. Here you'll see that some fields are mandatory because they have the red asterisk next to them. Let's look at spend category. Spend category represents a classification of transaction. Examples include printing and reproduction, audio and visual equipment, construction work, and so much more. Erica is buying office supplies. Let's type office supplies in the drop-down list. Great! Office supplies is a spend category we can use here. You can also confirm the correct work tags have been selected. Scrolling down, we see there is an attachment section. We do not have any attachments to provide, so let's click Submit. The confirmation page shows that our requisition has been submitted. Hooray! Erica has successfully shopped and submitted her purchase requisition for approval. You can click on the Details and Process tab to see more details, including the overall status of the requisition. By selecting the Process tab, we can immediately see where we are in the process, including who is listed as the approver in the process. It looks like we're awaiting action from the person who coordinates procurement for her department, the Cost Center Procurement Manager. Erica is able to check the status of her requisition at any time through the Maryland Procurement and AP dashboard. Let me show you by going back to that dashboard. I'll click Home, View All Apps, Maryland Procurement and AP. To view your requests, we'll click My Requisitions. To better search for results, we can enter selection criteria such as requisition, status, type, supplier, and purchase order to narrow results. You can also just click OK. In the My Requisitions report, Erica will be able to see her requisitions along with the requisition details and their status. For example, because Erica's requisition is still in progress and has not been approved, you can see that we still have the option of editing the requisition. If the requisition is fully approved, she'll see a status of successfully completed, along with a link to the associated purchase order. Clicking on the purchase order link allows you to view the PO and its status now that it's been routed to procurement. Well, Erica, we can't wait to hear about the new keyboard and mouse you got for your department. We hope through this example you learned more about creating shell-shop purchase requisitions in Workday and how to view the status of your requisitions after creating them. Thanks for watching.